Hello and welcome to a Smurd P video, and today we're looking at Uncanny X-Men issue 7, which I can only apologize for not doing sooner. I think between the holiday season in 2024, there was a delay and problems, and I ended up getting this comic early this year. So our story begins from Rogue's sort of point of view, where she is speaking to Scott. Scott wants to sort of control the show as he does, and Rogue also wants to control the show as she does. They both have their opinions because Graymalkin have two of hers, where they have one of theirs. Cyclops is on the point of, if we all go, it's a war. If we go, we get our people. We get out. So Scott also senses a bit of anger, and it's all about Rogue's perspective. She expected Scott to put it all together and bring them all in, but that didn't happen, did it? The way it was perhaps in her mind meant to happen, meaning she is now leading this squad of her own X-Men. She also mentions that she does respect Scott even more than even more than Charles Xavier, because he's a constant in this world and a leader. So it's not gone the way either of them want. So they're all in. Rogue doesn't want the kids to go, and Wolverine says something that I thought was a bit out of turn. He says they got a right to go, which I thought was odd, considering I go back to Schism quite a bit, and his thing about children not fighting, and he's almost done a U-turn on that original statement of, they can come now, it's okay, I've gotten over it, Also, Gambit's little doohickey wants to have a pop as well, so they're on a way, and she says our first mission is a suicide mission. So this is written by Gail Simone, pencilers David Marquez and Edgar Salazar, and inkers David Marquez and Victor Alazaba, and then colors Matthew Wilson. And here is the cast for this issue. This bit also felt a little bit, Jubilee says, what are you going to do with the beast, you nasty witch? And I understand there's probably language parameters in here, but it felt like Jubilee from the early 90s, child Jubilee, whereas this is adult Jubilee. But then it sort of rectifies itself a couple of panels down when she says, if you hurt him again, I will blind you. And that felt a bit more adult Jubilee. You've hurt my friend, I'm going to threaten you if you hurt him again. That felt a bit more in there, etc. So we learn that their young lady has been ransom paid, so they're going to drop her off, but she doesn't really care where that happens. So, and then she just acknowledges that Jubilee is willful and disobedient. So, and then she just wants the other mutant out of her sight, get her gone, drop her off, check's been paid, get it done. So, we've seen some of these panels in X-Men, and then obviously they are on their way, and they just talk about Beast being a big blue genetic piece of trash, and they go firing in. And then we get this sort of monologue from Rogue that just talks about that she wasn't lying to Scott. He is the Rock of the X-Men. However, it's she wanted him to say, you crack on, Rogue, and please get Beast back to us, rather than taking the helm. That's what she wanted from him. But they're two different teams. He's not leading both teams. He's not overseeing both teams. They've got both their different things. Also, back earlier in that issue, she asked him, do you love them like family? Her team are more like a family, whereas Scott's team is a team. And Scott, he cares about them, doesn't want any of them getting hurt. That's why he's going in. But he doesn't love them. It's not that sort of connection. It's not like the old days when it was him, Jean, Beast, Iceman, and Angel. Beast is probably the only one that we've seen him care about in that the previous issue to this, in this crossover. We also get this bit where I'm not sure if this is in Becca's head, but either her mum's talking to her and is a mutant as well, and that perhaps is why she doesn't want to do it. I would like that, because I feel like there's more of a dynamic to that relationship and what's going on. So, but she decides she is not going to leave whilst these girls are sneaking around, and they are ready to go in. However, Becca goes flying in first, and then they're all in. So, whilst that's going on, Jubilee has got a fork, and it hurts as she manages to release herself. However, she is out, which is great. And then we've seen a little bit of this before around the Trustees. They come flying in, and then Rogue does her thing. So, it's a bit of a stalemate at this point, because Wolverine says, you don't do anything until he touches his temple. We stay cool. So, literally, Rogue says, we find Jubilee. And Scott, you do what you need to do, and we both get out of here. Let's not get in each other's business. However, there is something going on, because this fella, whose name I can never remember, attacks Quentin. So Scott says Kane to me, because he knows that something isn't right and going wrong. That leads the young lad to think, oh my goodness, he's going for his visor. So he attacks. I do love this bit with Wolverine and Temper, because remember, she used to go back to his school. Idol used to go back to her school, and that was the reason why Schism happened in some ways, because he saw Idol, a 14-year-old girl who should have been playing with dolls in his mind. And she says, you should have expected you to betray us, and you should have looked out for us on Krakoa. She has some real resentment towards him. And he says, kid, listen, because he's full of remorse about the whole thing. He's burnt out from trying these lives. Whenever it gets too good, it all goes wrong. Krakoa was the best for him in his mind. And then she says, don't call me that, traitor. Meanwhile, Cyclops is just trying to knock out these young charges. And then Rogue says, you've been spending too much in the snow. You forgot your damn manners. Nightcrawler gets Psylocke out of play, because she's probably the most dangerous to them. Meanwhile, Jubilee and Becca find each other, and then they find the guards that beat Beast, and then she's like, my friend might, not agree with your proposal to give us a beating as well. So Beast comes flying in. I absolutely love this art. This is absolutely a beautiful piece here in my mind. Beautiful action scene, which is absolutely phenomenal. So from Graymalkin's perspective, she just wants the war and just wants to finish this as quickly as possible. But the X-Men are fighting each other, and Rogue says, look, I've just absorbed the blob, give me your best shot. And he did, because Juggernaut comes flying in. However, that reveals a great big cell that has an X on it, and it all sort of stops, and they all sort of come together because they're about to crack that egg open. However, somebody else has got a better idea, and we've got Blob. I'm presuming is that Sarah, or is that Toad? They've got these little hound things, and they got Siren as well. So this is that new group. Oh my goodness, I've already forgotten what they called them. We've been talking about this for the last few months. So there's a choice simple. You either leave now, or you're gonna stay. And this obviously continues in X-Men 9, which I have ordered. So I'm hoping I get that. I can catch up quite quickly as possible. And then we've got the final issue in Uncanny X-Men issue 8, which I suspect is probably actually out now as well. So I'm going to try and get that as possible. So I liked it. It was a good thing. There was a few things that, I just wanted to point out, being with my fountain of knowledge. Sometimes I forget that fountain of knowledge. And then later on, I think, oh, I should have said that in this in this video. But yeah, there was a couple of things that didn't make sense, but then there was a couple of things that were perfect. You know, Idol with Wolverine, that was just spot on, etc. So there we go. I hope you like my video. If you do, please do support my channel by subscribing. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We appreciate it. Make sure you look after yourself. Very important these days. And as always, embrace the geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.